Because of her parents, I, a 33-year-old man, decided not to be married and ended up divorcing my 31-year-old fiancé. Hello everyone, I don't know where to begin. Let me tell you about myself. I've been engaged to my partner for 4 years, and for the last 2 of those years we've lived together in a house we bought together. We were planning to get married in 3 months, but we ran into a scenario where her parents immediately turned against me. It all began when my fiancée and her mother went to see her wedding gown. While driving, her mother would continuously ask her how much we were paying for makeup, the artist, the dress, the photographer, the restaurant, and our total wedding budget. My fiancé would tell her everything, and her mother would not take it well that we were spending roughly $22,000 on our wedding, not to mention that we did not ask for financial assistance or receive any large gifts. I was not happy to hear that her parents wanted to butt into our business, but I am respectful of them as my future in-laws, so I agreed to meet. That night, her mum told her dad how unhappy she was about finding out about our wedding budget. He asked my fiancé to call me over to talk about our finances. I arrived at her parents' house shortly after they had finished work, and they were telling me how wasteful I was spending so much money on a good photographer, why we had to invite so many people, and that we should think about inviting just family and no one else. He continued by saying that my fiancé was paying 60% of the wedding budget and that normally it should be split. I listened to them politely and calmly, but I was boiling inside to think that our parents had the audacity to say all of that. So once they had finished their conversation, I replied. I said, first and foremost, I know that you are concerned for your daughter and my financial well-being, and you have our best interests in mind, but this is a budget that we've worked, talked, discussed, and agreed upon between both of us. We are not asking you for any financial backing or gifts. We just wanted you to attend the wedding without any concern and be part of our special day. Again, please understand that this is our wedding and this is what she wants. And if she is not pleased with what we've agreed on, then we can make changes. But this is still between me and her. I continued, while we value your opinion, this is our decision, and we'll discuss this as a couple. And you should not get involved. As for why she's paying 60% of the budget, that is because I'm paying the mortgage to our house and have been handling all the maintenance costs to bring our house to proper living conditions. So, I won't have the ability to cover any more than 40%, while her role in our relationship is to buy food and pay for some bills, so she should be able to save more than I can. I finished by saying, also, we're living together already and already have shared everything except a joint bank account. Any gifts, whether it's cash or items from our wedding, belong to the both of us. So it doesn't really matter who pays more or less. We both discussed this and have agreed. And now that you're trying to jump in and control our finances is not right, and I am not pleased that you are second-guessing our decision as if this is your wedding. Please note, I responded in a low-toned and calm voice. We bought our house and have been living independently for the last 2 years, so I feel like they are getting too possessive of my fiancée and her finances, that they are going crazy. Her parents began to angrily attack my family, saying that I have to help support my dad, who is 86 years old, and that spending all of this money is irresponsible. I let her parents finish, then told them that they cannot bring my family into this because it is not right. My fiancée is just sitting there doing nothing while all of this is going on, which made me feel sort of sad and disappointed because I would have expected her to stand up for us or at least defend our decision because her parents had no right. In addition, her parents disagree that she should have a joint bank account with me. I agree that she should have financial autonomy, but the purpose of the joint account would be to pay household expenses. After that, I simply stopped talking to them and told them that we would discuss the budget if they felt that way, and that if she was unhappy with any of the things we decided on, we could make adjustments. At this point, her parents were simply taking turns making demands. They were no longer making suggestions or saying, "You should do this," but rather more along the lines of, "I want fewer people to be invited," and "I want to pay more money." After we got home and reviewed the budget once more, she made some adjustments that we both approved of, and she turned to face me and said, "You do realize what my parents were attempting to convey to you, don't you?" In response, I responded, "No, not really, and it's inappropriate for them to be interfering with our operations." She looked at me disgustedly and said that she doesn't care what I want and that she will tell and discuss anything with her parents that she pleases. We're adults, we should be able to make our own decisions. I then told her that in the future, if we have any sort of major issues, decisions, and anything related to finances, then we should discuss them privately in our household and not let her parents intervene. I told her that she shouldn't do that because we are a separate family and we should be the ones making and owning our decisions, not letting anyone dictate or question them. She disagreed. Then I lost it and told her that if this is how it is going to continue, I cannot create any kind of family with her because she is okay with her parents controlling her life. I'm not saying that she shouldn't share or talk to her parents, but there are some things you as a couple want to keep private. Additionally, if a sensitive topic is shared, then the communication should be between her and her parents. If they want to offer advice, then she can come home and we can talk about it. However, if her parents just jump in as if it were their business, I don't feel comfortable doing that. I'm sorry about what happened and how our relationship ended, but I can't imagine being smothered by her parents questioning our choices and controlling our lives. I also put a lot of effort into our relationship, trying to create a solid foundation for starting a family, but this just wasn't going to work with the way things are. I believe myself to be a centered man and was raised with good values I received from my parents. I don't have any kind of addiction, be it alcohol, gambling, or other substances. I was taught the importance of a partner's role in a family, and I live by it. I also feel hurt because I think it's important to have your partner's support. I felt alone, as if I'm the only one defending us and the family that we're trying to build. Anyway, I just came here for some moral support. Your opinions are much appreciated. Not that my support really matters to you, but I absolutely agree with everything you did. Her parents were completely out of line, and the fact that she wasn't just comfortable with it, but that she still wanted to keep sharing intimate and financial information with them is a huge red flag. Well, first of all, congratulations on that spine. If it's not titanium, it's definitely adamantium. I absolutely agree with everything you said and your views on the partnership and the relationship. As you point out, it's acceptable to talk to your parents and share things with them, but there are some things that should only be shared between a couple and friends, family, or anybody else. What do you guys think? Would you have chosen the same course of action as Op? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. Now, let's see what the community has to say. Yanis, the Greek dude, claims that she didn't support you at all, even though that was the budget that you two agreed upon. I don't even know what her parents were trying to tell you. Although you didn't pay equally for the wedding, you did pay the mortgage, which is more than enough. You also support your family and aren't even requesting money from either of them. Her folks had no right to be upset with you, and she ought to have supported you during that. If she's going to be upset with you over the wedding, then it wasn't going to work out in the end. You made the right decision. You've avoided a major bullet. Good for you for knowing your boundaries and standing your ground. I agree that your marriage and decisions should stay between the two of you. If her parents are simply guests who are not paying, then your decisions and budget, etc., are absolutely none of their damn business. Miss Me Pudding says it sounds like maybe she was having reservations and voiced them to her parents who then butted in. If this is the case, she doesn't know how to communicate her feelings and used her parents to tell you how she feels. 875 milliliters says pretty much the same thing happened to me last year with my ex. We dated and lived for 7 years, and I finally met his parents first time last year. They live in another country. After the first time we met and spent 1 month together, they tried to get involved in every single little thing in our lives and tell us what to do and listen to them and plus non-stop judging me. I did not get along with his parents at all and told my ex the same thing you told your girlfriend. There are things that should be discussed and agreed upon between us and us only. Your parents do not have the right to control us. But my boyfriend said they are my parents. They raised me and spent time and money on me. So I need to take care of them and make them happy. And as my girlfriend, I want you to show them the good side of you, to make them like you instead of hate you, and I want the 4 of us to live in the same house happily. So I decided to end our 7-year relationship. He didn't stand up for me when his parents judged and hated me for no reason, which made me very sad and disappointed. He picked his parents over me. Further details from Op's comments. We had several conversations before this. I should have provided more details in my initial post. We were clear and honest about our finances. She didn't say anything at all during the conversation with her parents, which gave the impression that I was pushing for a lavish wedding, which is not my intention. In any case, it's our wedding. I wanted her to be happy and do or have whatever it is that's within our means. Despite the fact that we booked everything and agreed, It feels as though she needs their approval. I'm not telling her not to talk to her parents about certain things, but there are some things you just don't share with them. It felt like her parents didn't want her to grow up and still be their little girl, and because she didn't talk, it gave me the impression that she isn't willing to defend her or my decision. What happens later on when we have kids and her parents want us to do this and that? This situation made me feel like she didn't have my back at all and pretty much picked her parents over me, even though this wedding was a mutual decision between us. Her having my back was essential to me because we had discussed and planned everything together throughout the process. I don't see giving her another chance because she's old enough to know that I need her support until the end of our days, and without it, there's no motivation for me to move forward with anything. Anyway, since the breakup, we've sat down multiple times the past week to talk about what had happened. She believes that this is not something big enough to end our relationship and believes that I was actually being rude to her parents. My response was speechless. Okay, so you might be thinking at this point that Opie got away with it and is no longer involved, but there are actually two updates, so let's start with the first one. I would like to thank everyone in the Reddit community for taking the time to comment during my time off. My ex and I had not spoken at all for almost 2 weeks until she called and asked if he could go somewhere and talk. I agreed. I took some time off. After reading through all of the comments, I spent the next few days processing and evaluating everyone's advice, opinions, and points of view. She began the conversation by apologizing to me for her lack of consideration for the entire situation I was put in, as well as for my reasoning and actions. She didn't understand why I had taken what her parents had said so seriously because, to her, it was normal and something she had grown accustomed to her entire life. Therefore, she was unable to see things from my point of view until she had had some time to reflect and process it. She is aware that I was only attempting to set boundaries and that her parents had crossed the line, something that no one in her life had ever done before. Then we discussed the positives and negatives of our relationship, and she broke down in tears and said that she still wanted us to be together and work things out. After giving her time to finish, I told her that I didn't mean to offend her parents because I knew how much she loved them, and I continued talking about how we would handle future situations. For instance, I asked her how she would handle it if something like this came up again, and she replied that if her parents wanted to get involved, she would listen to what they had to say, discuss it with me later, and assure me that she wouldn't put me in a similar situation to the one she had put me in before. It's uncharted territory for her, but she understands now that there are things that are kept private and should not be discussed with her parents. She agrees that we should be making our own decisions and that she can share whatever it is with her parents and listen to their opinions, but the final decision will be up to us. We both felt like we grew stronger during our time apart, especially her. The fact that she set up our meeting and came to me suggests that she really thought things through and was really sincere about everything she said. I was thinking to myself that during our break she took some time to process things and really reflect and see what was happening and what needs to be changed and done. Of course, I still love her, and during that time I too did a lot of reflecting on how things could have been different and what I could have done and so on. I told her that I didn't want to be with anyone else and that I never thought about being with anyone else after our conversation, and she said that she felt the same. So we're going to give it another go, this time with boundaries set for her parents. Wow, this has been the longest 2 months of my life. I'm glad things worked out the way they did, but I wouldn't want to go through this again. It was hell. At the same time, this made me feel like we got stronger as a couple and anyone could happen. Now that it seems that Opie and his girlfriend are in agreement and have similar goals for their relationship, let's go on to the last installment to see how this tale concludes. After we gave it another shot a little over a month ago, I'm sorry to say that nothing had really changed. In fact, things got worse. The first few days went well, or so I thought, until she started talking about how I should just go apologize to her parents and make them happy so we can get this settled. I told her that I didn't do anything wrong and that I thought we had already established a clear understanding of our boundaries and our stance as a couple. After that, the entire conversation descended into a heated argument over my refusal to give in and apologize for something I shouldn't have to, and she gave me the cold shoulder. We decided it was best to break up because I was already overworked and emotionally and physically exhausted from the drama her parents and partially her had caused me over the last 4 months. To be honest, I don't really understand why she tried so hard to get me to try our relationship again if her goal was to make me apologize to her parents. I don't understand how she thought that would somehow make things better. Fortunately, I was going to the gym or I would have lost my mind. Thank you to all of the Reddit supporters. My new life has begun, and I don't have to worry about the what-ifs. Good for you for standing your ground, op, and as you say, now you don't have to worry about the what-ifs. Thanks for sharing and take care. All the best in the future. Wow, Opie, that must have been exhausting. The way she just lied to you and tried to agree with everything you said to get you back in the relationship and then try to force you to apologize, that's just so weird. Like, yeah, sure, I'm gonna do that now that we're back together, no way. And now that the video has come to an end, I sincerely hope you enjoyed the stories I read to you today. If you did, please feel free to like and subscribe to the channel, as well as share it with anyone you think would enjoy my storytelling. If you have a moment, you can also explore all the links I've included in the video description, from my channel merch to our Discord community. Lastly, I just want to say thanks for watching.